Hi, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Targeted Individual Experience. I am going to share with you a little bit of a video. The video is titled The Future of Mental Privacy in the Neurotechnology Age, Nita Farahani. Now, I have her book, all right, her book that I just got. Um, It's called The Battle for Your Brain. I think that's what it is, The Battle for Your Brain. Give me a sec here. Um, where am I? Yeah, it's called The Battle for Your Brain. Okay. Now, I talked about before how they had developed how they can, what is called brain fingerprinting, right? Meaning that they can identify you based on your mind. So your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and again, if you are implanted as a TI, you know that they are constantly uh, not only are you being remotely neural monitored, but they're manipulating your subconscious and conscious mind. And this is on the fly. This is doesn't matter where you are, who you're with, they're going to manipulate you. And the thing is, you may not know at a certain point in time that you're being manipulated. So I talk about how they will use certain situations to manipulate your mind, okay, in ways in which they may not be able to manipulate your mind in the same way if you wasn't in a particular situation under particular circumstances. So this is what they do, right? So what happens is that are when you are in a certain situation or things happening around you, right? Sometimes certain things will happen. Sometimes you may drop your guard. Sometimes they may manipulate the other person around you in an attempt to manipulate you, right? While manipulating them and also manipulating you at the same time. So you are dropping your guard, okay? But I want to just play this, all right? And again, you guys can go and look at this video. It is on YouTube, all right? It's from the YouTube channel 80,000 Hours.
Another one you mentioned is identifying targets subconsciously. How would that work? Well, so this gets back to the idea that there's a lot that's happening subconsciously in our brain
Again, Fair Use Act of 1976.
before we consciously process information. And target identification turns out to be one of them, which is the brain may automatically recognize features of a target. Like if you're looking at surveillance images, for example, the brain may detect and recognize through one of these evoked response potentials a target before, and this can be milliseconds to seconds later, that you consciously are aware of it. Or maybe it never reaches your conscious awareness, but your unconscious, kind of subconscious processing and visual scanning is able to pick it up. And so software systems are being trained on this, where you have somebody who's very good at target identification, who maybe can't articulate what it is about that target that made them identify it, right? Some of the best people at target identification are not very good at training other people because they can't explain and verbalize what it was, like the characteristics. This is sort of the same idea of I can't fully convey a full thought to you, but your brain is able to do a lot more than we otherwise think. And so people who are really good at target identification, usually it's by another person watching them rather than them explaining to the person how to identify a target, and then kind of repeat processing of learning by watching. So target identification using EEG, if you could figure out what that signal is and identify it every time they recognize the target, you can both use that to potentially train future people, but also use it as an early detection system, right? So this person who's really good at target identification lit up, then you could have AI look at it, right? What is it that makes this a target every time the person is able to identify it? So there's been some, I think, really interesting studies that have been done around that kind of automatic recognition of features like target.
All right. So imagine you walking through an airport, right? And you know, you may just have the some silly thought in your mind, right? And next thing you know, you're being swarmed by airport security because of the thought that you have in your mind. Not to say that, you know, like for example, let's say you walk through an airport, you might have had a rough day or what have you, or you might have heard on the news, or you might have said to yourself, "Damn, I hope when I get on this plane, like a bomb doesn't go off or anything like that." Right? Because you said that, and they are have and in airports they will put this stuff in there to where they can uh, scan everybody's brain. Okay. All right. So whether it be externally or, you know, you may be one of those people like us TIs who was microchipped. You know, the times you may get angry the fact that of what they've done to you. All right. You might be on an airplane, people are targeting you, and all of a sudden you might be like, I wish I just such and such this person, what have you. Right. Next thing, like I said, you being swarmed. you know. But again, this is the things that they can do, and they've been able to do this already. This is nothing new. I keep saying, when you hear, you know, these are like journalists and researchers who are researching this stuff, right? But they don't talk to the TI community, particularly those of us who really, really, really dive deep into trying to understand what is being done to us and what have been done to us, right? So you know, again, they will try to always discredit us. Okay, they will always try to discredit us, and because uh, we continue to expose it, and again, if people start listening to us, which is what they don't want, then they engage in the assassination threats and stuff like that, threat of bodily harm, even death, incarceration and stuff like that, because again, they want to discredit us, right? So that, as I talk about, that's where the mental illness label comes in, right? Because that is cover for them. So they can always, when people start listening, they can always say, "Oh, oh, you're crazy," because people are starting to listen to you, right? Like I said, people have to raise their level of awareness to understand what's going on, right? And like I said, it's my purpose to uh, be part of those of us who continue to expose this for what it is. All right. So very interesting video. Please go look at it. All right. Talk to you guys in the next video.